Alright guys, as requested by, I believe he's one of my subscribers, or her, not sure. This a couple videos ago, said that, you know, hey, I like stories, just tell more of them. So, here goes. We're gonna tell a story about, you know, let's take you back last riding season on the old 650, the old Ninja 650. And if you don't know what one that is, if you go digging through my videos, look for a red Ninja 650, and that'll be the guy. So anyway, first street bike that belonged to me, and I've had riding experience on the dirt and riding experience a little bit on the street. And where I grew up down in Arizona, we were allowed to ride anything on the street as long as it was registered, insured, and street legal. And you could make anything street legal down there. So I rode my ATVs on the street, dirt bikes, stuff like that. So getting to the story, you know, excited to get my first bike. It's all mine. No parents telling me anything like that. Not that I'm like 16 or 18 years old or anything. I'm old enough to make my own decisions, have my own house, pay my way. Been out on a few little tiny rides. You know, when I say little tiny rides, like 25 miles at the most. You know, just to kind of get an idea of what it's like to go into a corner with a little bit of speed, you know. And when I say a little bit, I'm talking like at the speed limit or just a little bit above the speed limit, you know. And guys, think back when you first got on that bike, when you first swung your leg over and you're out there riding, and the first time you came into a corner with some speed, how you felt. That feeling, it's like, holy moly, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Yeah. So anyway, we get about 1,000 miles into riding this bike. I mean, that was it. 1,000 miles on the odometer. This bike, I bought it brand new with all the right intentions and enjoyed it. It was a great bike. It just didn't have the power for passing like this bike does, but that's for another time. So we're out riding northern, I don't want to say northern, I should say mid-Idaho. I don't even know if you can call it mid-Idaho. Anyway, it's Highway 21 up by Lowman. And if you guys want to see what the road looks like, go on to Google Maps and type in Lowman, and it's spelt the way it sounds, Lowman, Idaho, and then follow Highway 21 south about a mile. And that is exactly where I found out exactly what I was doing wrong. You know, and don't, guys, no negative comments here. You know, just keep your comments to yourself. If they're negative, if they're positive, that's fine. You know, I don't mind. Or constructive criticism's okay also, but the negative stuff, I don't really care much for it. You know, there's enough of that stuff out in the world today. Anyway, you know, I read the motorcycle manuals. I have my own endorsement and everything, and if you guys look in there, it says that they found that if you put the inexperienced rider kind of in the middle of the group, he tends to learn a little bit on how to ride. Well, that's where I'd been riding, towards the middle, a little bit towards the back. Not dissing on a Harley rider, but we did have one of those guys with us, and I wasn't back there with him, so not like I was being the tail gunner, which I don't mind. But with the experience I had, I didn't need to be back there. I needed to be in the middle. So This trip we took us up out of Boise on 55 to Banks, from Banks over to Lowman, which was east. I don't know, I think it's called Banks Highway or Banks Road or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, go from there, we went south on 21, or not south, north on 21 up to Stanley, and that's a really nice ride. Stanley's nice, and these were all nice, you know, just kind of a little bit of turns here and there, nothing really super tight. I think the tightest corner we come into is like a 30 or 35 mile an hour cautionary speed one, so no biggie, you know. Riding in the middle of the group, you kind of get an idea where the lines are, you know, and what lines work for other guys, you know, because not every line's the same for everyone. So, coming back down out of Stanley, we stop in Lowman for a break. Chit-chatting, all nice and done up, ready to go. We're sitting there on our bikes, and one of the riders looks over, says, "Hey man, you want to lead?" And I was just like, heck yeah, man, I want to lead. And I am not kidding. Before anybody could even say anything about what the road was like or anything, bike was gone. I mean, they were like, holy crap. First corner coming out, and I shouldn't say first corner, because the first one's really, it's just kind of a sweeping right hand turn, just mowing it, man, grabbing gears, twisting that throttle, you know, just having the time of my life with no recourse on what can happen. Come into a left-hander, it's a 20 mile an hour left-hander, click it down to like third gear, scoot off the seat, turn that bike in and just carve it. Yeah, this is what it's about, man. This is that feeling I've been looking for. That thrill, that excitement. And man, I mean, just the emotions of how much fun it was, and you know, feeling that bike underneath me. Listening to that motor just screaming, you know. It's like, yeah, I want more. So come out of that corner, grab fourth gear, grab fifth gear, man. And I mean, I'm just every bit of it. I look in my mirror, and to give you guys an idea, at that time my buddies were riding, I think there were two R1s that were in the lead, and then there was like an FZ8 in the back somewhere, some other bikes, I think a Gixxer 600, and anyway, I look in my mirror, and the thousands are a little ways back, but not too much. You know, and I'm like, okay, they're keeping up. I've got a good pace going. Not thinking, you know, I don't know the road. I have no idea. Don't even know if it's clean. You know, those thoughts didn't even cross my mind. You know, this is all what an inexperienced rider will do, you know. And guys, if you're new to motorcycling and you've never been on a road, or you've got, you know, less than 5,000 or 6,000 miles of actually out riding, not 5,000 or 6,000 miles of tooling around town, because I mean, granted, being around town in other cars has its problems, but being up in the canyons and all those mountain roads, that's a different story. You know, you don't have people to pick you up, you don't have, you know, medical services right there. So getting back on it, me being inexperienced, yeah, it was, you know, we hit the second corner. It was a right hand turn. I think we geared down like fourth gear, because I think at that time we were running about fifth. Going around the corner, it was just a sweeper. It didn't even have a speed sign on it. That's how awesome it was. Just coming in and just sitting there, start cooking through the gears again, and see a corner coming up. It's 20 mile an hour left hand hairpin. So, all right, start gearing down, slowing down, braking, coming in the corner. I believe at about 80 miles an hour, I look over my shoulder and I see another road on the other side of this hill. It's kind of like a draw, and the left-hand turn was actually where it ended and went up the other side of the hill, and that's what I was seeing, but I didn't know that. So come into this corner, realize, holy crap, those roads meet in the middle as a turn, a left-hand turn. I start panicking. I'm like, holy crap, I gotta make this turn. I'm going way too fast. So I start braking, trying to just get rid of as much speed as possible. I moved to the right a little bit. I shouldn't say a little bit, I moved to the right a lot of it. I came from the inside to the outside braking and went to initiate the turn and realized it ain't happening, and then I target fixated, and that is a huge thing. I mean, to admit that, you know, I mean, basically at that point I knew it wasn't going to happen. I needed to find a nice place to crash, you know, find a resting place for my bike and me, something that wasn't going to hurt. You know, you don't know what it's going to be like. Luckily for me, my Angel had the perfect spot picked out. Few rocks, and when I say rocks, I'm talking like rocks like the size of your fist. And that was about it. No canyons, no ditches, no cliffs, nothing like that. Not a guardrail or a sign. And we're just sitting there. You know, by this time, I fell over on my left side and slid into the dirt probably 15, 20 feet. You know, by that time, I'd already dropped down in speed 20, 30 miles an hour. I mean, it should have made the turn, but by the time I initiated it, I was in the dirt. And that's when I fell over. So, laying in the dirt, from the experience that I've always had of wrecking out in the dirt as a kid, I didn't want to move. I wanted to just stay there. I didn't know if my legs were attached or not. I just like, don't move. Just need to calm down. We don't know what happened. You know. So I'm laying there, and a friend of mine, they finally catch up. And it's only like a matter of seconds, I should say. Probably 10 seconds at the most, but it felt like a lifetime, guys. Friend walks up, he's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm alright, man, I'm alright. I was like, just make sure I'm not bleeding out or something. He looks around and says, you're okay, man. Climb out from under that thing. So I pull my leg out from under the bike, look around. He's like, holy shit. Sorry for the language, guys. He's like, you were going way too fast for this road. He's like, I know it gave you a false sense of how the rest of the road is, but this part is nothing but tight, twisted corners. You need, you know, we tried to tell you that back before you took off, but you were just gone, and we didn't want to try to catch you to make you think that you needed to go faster. We figured if we hung back, you would slow down. At that point, I was like, oh, you know, just swallowing my pride. Holy crap, what had just happened? My new bike just turned a little over 1,000 miles, and there it lay in the dirt. She wasn't leaking oil or bleeding or anything like that, just scrapes, scuffs, cracked fairing, busted turn signal, and that was it. I got off lucky. So lucky. I mean, it was just amazing. You know, I picked up a few of the plastic pieces of the bike that were laying on the ground, threw them in the backpack, and immediately put myself back in the group where I belong, back in between everybody, and finished my ride out. And, you know, every now and then I think back about it, you know, what I did. I target fixated, I was inexperienced. I was in a spot I didn't need to be in. I didn't know the road, and basically carelessness, man. I was just being outright belligerent on riding. You know, that's where you learn, guys, that, you know, you got to be respectful of your bike. So, you know, take that how you guys want it. You know, maybe share a story down there in the comments below, or maybe even just reply with another video of your own, if you guys are into that. You know, I'm sure there's tons and tons of crash stories. That's mine. That's the only, well, I shouldn't say that's the only one. I have fallen over in the shop, and that was caused by shoelaces, but that's why I wear motorcycle boots now. No shoelaces, nothing to catch my kickstand, and you know, that poor red bike, I learned a lot on that guy. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content today and the story. That was for my one buddy down there in my last video. Well, not my last video, but that one's for you guys. You wanted the story, there it is. And I'll keep them coming if you guys are interested. So with that being said, you guys have a great day. Keep the shiny side up. If you like the content, hit that like button, subscribe, share it on your favorite social media. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.